just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back, eSIM Studios podcast live stream episode number 120 on this Saturday afternoon, June 15th, 2024. Thank you for joining us today. I've got a couple of news stories here for you today. Will be another quick one. I doubt it'll run into the 1 hour time spot, but probably looking at about 20 minutes or so, but I'm going to make this a quick one. Quick news. If you want to catch our podcast, you can take it anywhere you go. You can take us on the road. You can take us on the subway. You can take us on the train. Take us on the airplane. Wherever you go, wherever you get your podcasts at, simply search eSIM Studios and we will pop up, right? eSIM Studios podcast is on all podcast platforms, whether it's iHeartRadio, whether it's Apple Podcasts, whether it's YouTube Music, Amazon Music. Wherever you get your podcasts, search eSIM Studios, we will pop up. Now, it's also brought to you by Efani. Efani is America's most secure network, right? And we have a special promo code with you. We teamed up with Efani. Save $99 on your plan. Promo code eSIM Studios. Simply go to efani.com. Efani is save $99 on Efani SAFE plan. It's a bespoke cybersecurity-focused mobile service wireless carrier, right? Service protecting high-risk individuals against SIM swaps. Everybody knows what a SIM swap is by now. You do not want to get SIM swapped, and your best protection is Efani. They provide the best in-class protection against SIM swaps with an 11-layer of proprietary authentication. Now, they're also backed with a $5 million insurance policy. What does that mean? That means if you're using Efani and you get SIM swapped, you get $5 million. They're so confident that you will not get SIM swapped, they back their service with a $5 million guarantee. Efani.com/eSIM Studios. Promo code eSIM Studios when you sign up for a plan with Efani. Next sponsorship, esimstudios.app. I sponsor my own podcast. What can you say? I mean, you would too, right? esimstudios.app. Very, very cool. Let's see here. Let me pull this up for us. Actually, hang on 1 second. I need to make an adjustment inside the application. It's a web app. So you go to esimstudios.app. You can install it on your phone, on your tablet, on your PC, on your MacBook, just like any other application. You do it right from the website. It installs on your phone, on your laptop, on your tablet, just like any other app. It's actually safer, built on Web 3.0, so it's actually safer than application inside of an app store, believe it or not. I do all the updating, but here in my seat behind the scenes, so you don't even have to go to you don't even have to go to the app store to update it. I do all that behind the scenes. So let's see here. Let me make an adjustment real quick. There we go. Okay. We have our podcast on there. We have our YouTube channel on there. You can get service on there. The unlocker, you learn how to unlock your phone for free. You can watch our podcast on there, right? We do giveaways on there. You can buy a phone, find the best deals on phones. How to protect yourself from a SIM swap. We have that as well. I have all of the do's and don'ts when it comes to keeping yourself safe online. And then we have your best tech deals online. You can find them right there. I search the internet every day, and when I come across the good deals, I throw them up on our esimstudios.my.canva.site, right? But let's get into the news for today. Let me share the screen here. All right. Can you hear that? Okay. S24 FE. So we all knew Samsung was basically going to come out with an FE model. It was not set in stone. I think they skipped a year, actually. I think they skipped, was it the S23 or S20? I believe they skipped a year. I'm not sure on that. I'm not big on the FE models. Now, what does FE stand for? FE stands for Fan Edition. So basically what Samsung does is they'll take... Sorry, my volume was down in my earbuds. That's why I couldn't hear the volume. So what Samsung does with these FE models, or these Fan Edition models, is it's a version of a flagship model. They just take everything that you love about that flagship device, minus a couple of features, right? Which brings the cost down for you, the consumer. So it's interesting. Look, Samsung has the Tab. They have the FE, the Fan Edition, in the tablet, Fan Edition in their phones, Fan Edition in their earbuds, which I'm wearing right now. And they also they're coming out with a Fan Edition and FE model for their watch, right? Samsung Galaxy Watch 7 FE, which is going to be released here in about 3 weeks on July 10th at the next Samsung Unpacked event. Now, I'm a big fan of their FE models minus their phones. A little ironic, right? So I've had 2 FE devices. I did not like either one of them. My experience with their phones, now the tablets are fine. My parents have an FE tablet and it works fine. I use the FE earbuds. I'm probably going to get the FE watch. I have not had good experiences, and we'll get into the specs here in just a second. It literally just leaked right now. My problem with the FE phones, and maybe they'll fix it, right? I have no idea. But in the past, it was a sluggish experience. It was a jolty experience. Not smooth. Operating system was very choppy. Just not you could tell there was a noticeable difference between I think the last one I had was the S23 FE. Let me make sure. Yeah, I had the S22 FE and S23 FE. There was a noticeable difference in the operating system. Everyday usage, just if you have a ton of apps open in the background, if you're moving from app to app, the operating system, home screen, scrolling through different screens, it was very choppy. It did not last long in my hands. I think I used it for a little while, gave it a chance, and got rid of them, right? I had used the S22 FE, same issue, and I thought, you know what, maybe they'll fix it with the S23 FE, same issues. Now, possibility that they fixed it in the S24 FE, sure. What do I think the issue was? RAM. So one of the ways to cut costs with Samsung, right? Because an FE model does cost cheaper. Again, it's a flagship, but it's a watered down flagship. It's basically a mid-range, although I think they'll call it I think it's technically classified as a flagship. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's classified as a mid-range. I don't know. As you can tell, I haven't put that much stock into their FE phones. Again, could they change it this year? Sure. My issue, and I believe what the issue was with the bad experience, is the RAM. What they do in these phones, as I mentioned a couple times, they take some of the flagship specs away, which reduces the costs for you, the consumer. It also reduces the manufacturing costs for Samsung. And one of those reductions in specs was RAM, the amount of RAM. I think the two FE models that I used only had 6 gigs of RAM. If you're using a Samsung phone, you know just as well as I do, you're going to need a ton of RAM to have a good experience. There's the operating system is enormous on these S20 on these flagship Samsung devices, especially with this S24. Samsung One UI 6.1 is a huge operating system, and I mean just in file size, right? If you downloaded One UI 6.1 for the S24 Ultra, I want to say it's something enormous, like 12 or 18 gigabytes. I mean, it is huge. And 6 gigs of RAM is simply just not enough to handle all the operations going on in the background, in the foreground, in real time, and behind the scenes, while you're using it, trying to store the memory with all the apps you have open, taking pictures, editing photos, doing a couple little AI things. It's just not enough. Now, I believe they had RAM expansion, but as you know, here's the issue with the FE, right? Again, they put non-flagship hardware in this device to reduce the manufacturing costs, right? That includes UFS storage. If you're gonna use RAM expansion, meaning basically take some of your storage, you know how you'll see like the S22 FE was like 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage. So what RAM expansion is, they'll take, I don't know, 8 gigabytes from your 128 gig storage, and they'll reserve that for RAM, random access memory. So 6 plus 8, you're looking at over 12 gigs of RAM. However, the extra 8 gigs of RAM that you're using from the RAM expansion feature does not move back and forth well, because the UFS storage, which is the transfer speed inside the phone, how fast that storage can move back and forth and read and write, is slow, because they're using a lesser than flagship UFS storage. So that's the issue with the FE that I have. It's not like they have the latest and greatest UFS storage in there that can shoot the memory back super duper fast. That probably would be suitable and be okay to use some of that RAM from the storage into the RAM that you use on top of those 8 gigs. That might be okay, but again, that's the problem. They use 2 or 3 year old UFS storage. I think it's 3.0, and we're all the way up to 4.1 now. So as you can tell, you can see the issue there and why it's having such a sluggish time. Now, maybe they bumped it up to 8 gigs this year of RAM for this S24 FE. Maybe they put in UFS storage 4.0 this time to help with that, the how fast that memory inside the device can use that expanded RAM, right? Let's see here. So we got some information. We don't have all of the specs, but we got most of the specs, right? So here's what it looks like. Looks like an S24, right? Typically with the FE models, you will get a different screen size. Current screen sizes right now with the S24 is the base S24, 6.1 inches, S24 Plus, 6.7 inches, and S24 Ultra, 6.82 inches. This S24 FE, I don't believe that number is out. However, it's going to be somewhere in the range of 6.5 inches, I believe, right around 6.5 inches. That's what I've heard. That's what I've seen behind the scenes. I don't think that number's out. Let's see. Oh, it is. It's a 6.65 inch display. So a shade under the S24 Plus. S24 Plus is the perfect size for a smartphone, in my opinion. S24 Ultra is, honestly, if you want my honest opinion, it's too big. Now, I don't have small hands. I think I have average hands. I mean, right? I don't have enormous hands, but I definitely don't have small hands by any means. I mean, what? I'm 6 foot, a 6 foot male. So I have average hands. This S24 Ultra can hardly use it with one hand, honestly. You got to juggle it around just to make some screen selections. With the S24 Plus, it's big enough to have a nice big display, but not too big, right? So you can still use this S24 Plus with the 6.7 inch display with one hand. Same thing with this OnePlus phone. Actually, you know what? I think the OnePlus 12 has a 6.8 inch display. However, it has curved screens, and the aspect ratio is different, meaning it's actually taller and thinner, and it has a curved displays, so it makes it easier for your hand to wrap around to make screen selections using it one-handed. Makes it much easier. Sort of like, not as skinny as a Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6, right? Those are real skinny. I think that's like a 22:9 aspect ratio. It's very tall, very slim, easy to make one-handed screen selections. OnePlus 12, I think, is 21:9. I believe 21:9. Now, the S24 Plus is a 20:9 aspect ratio. So you can see how it is a little easier. Now, let's see here. I think we got a good surprise here because I think those of y'all that have had the same issue with this S24, or excuse me, with those of you at home that have used an FE model, a phone FE, a Samsung Galaxy S22 FE, S23 FE, I think this one is going to fit the bill because I've made numerous videos explaining my issues with the Galaxy FE model, and I would like to think somebody at Samsung is subscribed to our channel, but that could just be wishful thinking on my end. But what we have here, I got something in store for y'all. Check this out. This new S24 FE appears to have 12 gigs of RAM and a bump in storage at 256 gigs. Wow. If this is the case, this might get a go from me as far as recommendations. Can I recommend this phone? Here's going to be the kicker. It's going to have the Samsung Exynos 2400 processor. Now, before you get too down on that news, I believe this is, and we'll look it up here right now. I believe this Exynos 2400 is the same processor the S24 series was launched with globally. Now, inside the US, we had the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Now, it says it might offer the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 CPU, just like the flagship S24 series. It might. So, nothing set in stone, but it will for sure have the Exynos 2400. I think that's the same Exynos processor they launched the S24 with globally, but obviously, as you know, inside the US, it has the Snapdragon variant. Now, this new Exynos 2400, let's see if it's the same CPU that was launched in the S24 globally. Yeah, so the S24 globally, whether it's S24, S24 Plus, S24 Ultra, if you're in Germany, if you're in Romania, if you're in China, you know what I mean? If you're in Thailand and you get a Samsung S24 Ultra, you're going to get the Exynos 2400. It's gotten really, really good reviews. That's not typical for Exynos CPUs. Typically, they overheat. Typically, the battery life is bad because they overheat. But this one, from everything I've seen online, reviews, Reddit, publications, media publications, Everybody says the Exynos 2400 is a phenomenal CPU. No overheating issues, very fast. In fact, it's almost as good as a performer as the Snapdragon 8 Gen S3. Not quite, but look, it's good enough, right? It performs better, benchmarks, and performs better than the last year's Snapdragon flagship 8 Gen 2. So if you're, 60%, if you can perform, somewhere in between the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 and 8 Gen 3, which is the current one, and it's closer to the 8 Gen 3. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I've seen them. It's pretty good. That's good news for you, for Samsung, for everybody. No overheating issues. At least I haven't seen any overheating issues. So this is good news. So if you're like me, who have used a Samsung Galaxy S model, FE variant, and did not like the experience, I think Samsung has listened to us. They've heard the complaints, and they're doing something about it. Look, guys, 12 gigs of RAM is sufficient for a nice and smooth user experience. And then having a nice, fast CPU is another bonus for having a nice, clean, fast user experience. So from all sides, looking at this at every angle, it looks like it's going to be a good device. Minus something I'm missing, it looks like I would be more than happy to recommend this to users. So it's going to measure 162 millimeters tall, 77 millimeters wide, and 8 millimeters thick, right? With a 6.65 inch AMOLED display. I'm sure it'll have 120 hertz refresh rate. I don't know if it's LTPO. I'm assuming it should be. This display is said to feature a top center selfie camera, right? As its brothers and sisters have with the base, the Plus, and the Ultra. Now, cameras. There's going to be a triple camera setup with 50 megapixel primary sensor. A previous leak said that this main camera is a 50 megapixel ISOCELL GN3, which is really good news. A 1.57 inch sensor with a bunch of pixels. It's the same lens found in the base model S24. Okay, so it's not their greatest, it's not the latest and greatest sensor in there, but it's enough, right? But I want to tease something before we get out of this. So I'm going to keep, and look, now that they're adding 256 gigs of storage, it's music to my ears. That means you should go out there. Users should be able to purchase this, use it, and love it, right? Depending on where they price it at. Fan Edition typically is about 75% asking price. Not always. I'm not saying this is going to be 75% of what the S24 Plus costs, because it's basically the same size, a lot of the same dimensions, specifications, same as this phone. This phone was $1,000 brand new. So that will put this one where $750. I would rather find a used S24. See, here's the thing. Here's the thing with the FE models. They don't come out when the standard flagship phones are launched. Kind of like the A series for Pixels or the A series for nothing. They launch them, they wait a few months, and then launch these FE versions, FE models. But here's the conundrum, and here's what I suggest you do. And I'm giving you my honest opinion. In fact, this is exactly what I would do. I would not buy this brand new if I were you. Samsung, close your ears. I know y'all gave me a phone to use, but close your ears. But all the viewers at home or wherever you are listening, open your ears up. Here's a little pro tip. Instead of buying this new, whatever they price it at, whether it's $750, $800, $850, shit, even if it's $700, here's what I would do. Don't buy it. Go find an S24 Plus, a used S24 Plus, and buy that instead. Now you can find a good used one that doesn't even show any signs of usage. I was on eBay earlier. You can get an S24 Plus for $500, $550, and it looked brand new to me. No scratches, nothing on the screen, nothing on the bezels, nothing on the side and the back. Camera sensors are good. That will get you top tier flagship specs, so you don't have to compromise anything. Because a lot of the times what they do is they don't list the UFS storage on here. So what they'll probably do is, to keep the cost down, is put old UFS storage in it. And as I mentioned, they're putting the base 50 megapixel sensor when to the regular S24, when the Plus and the Ultra have better sensors in them, camera sensors. So you can get this device, S24 Plus, with far superior specs, less, buying it used, you can get this less than what you could get this S24 FE for brand new. That's what I would do. I'm not telling you that's what you have to do, what you need to do. I'm just telling you what I would do. But I strongly consider, if you're in the market for this device, go find you a used S24 Plus. You're going to get superior specs at a cheaper price, right? I just saw one, I think, for $5 or $5.50 or $5.25. There's a number of them on eBay, on OfferUp, Mercari. That will be cheaper than getting this one brand new. Now, I understand if you go to a carrier and they offer this, and the carriers, AT&T, T-Mobile, I get it. New phone, oh, sure, let's just get that one. I get it, right? But if you want to be smart about it, look, you can finance. You don't have to go to T-Mobile or AT&T to finance a device. You can Amazon, you can finance, right? Buy it with a credit card. It's the same thing. Pay it off over time like you would at a carrier, right? That's what I would do. So we're going to keep our eyes on this for everybody out there. And let's see. When do we have a launch date? We do not. Now, it's not going to be launched with the on July 10th. That's Samsung's next Unpacked event, when they're going to release the Flip 6 and Fold 6 right before the Olympics, because that would impede on the attention that the foldables get. So I'm assuming they're going to release this in August. Let's find out when the S23 FE release date was. Check this out. So here's the last model, S23 FE. Samsung charged $599 for this base model and $629 for the unlocked variant. Okay, so even if they ask $599 for the S24 FE, I'm still getting S24 Plus right about the same price, and you're getting far superior specs. Better camera, better UFS storage, number of things. I'm sure the display is far superior. This is LTPO. I don't know if this FE is going to be LTPO. Anyways, take my advice, look into it. If you're interested in getting, just check the prices on the S24 Plus before you pull the trigger on this one. Launched October 26th. Damn. So I don't know if they'll launch this S24 FE around that same time, but it is what it is. I think it's up in the air. I don't think anything's set in stone. And there's no launch event. There's no Unpacked event that they have some big unveiling. They just make it available online for you to purchase, and away you go. We'll keep our eyes on that for you now.